with it personally, but we can automate a lot of stuff. It died. Oh no. Into that. I know. That's rough.
You need to make more waves. You need to create more attention in the world in which people know who you guys are, what you do, why you do it.
When I'm in a lull, I pretend that I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. And by that I mean I'm revving in a circle.
Amanda looks upset.
I spelled repurposing wrong, I just realized that.
Oh, cool.
It says p-purposing.
Let's pause here. Like, why haven't you guys, first of all, the message that I've shared with you, a year ago, 18 months ago, whatever, remains the same. And I believe only thing from holding you guys back from ridiculous growth is you need to make more waves. You need to create more attention in the world in which people know who you guys are, what you do, why you do it. Frankly, if we put a camera in front of or you or both of you and had you guys answer the 7 questions you just rhetorically provided to Ryan and I mean, that right there alone makes you guys, 1, referable, 2, you resonate, 3, you're relevant, 4, you're already addressing pain points that they're thinking about every single day, and we just need to continue to remind them of that. I think if can make some noise, make some waves, create some sort of an attention graph for yourselves, right? So that people are aware that you're out there and that you exist. And then we apply some of that, expertise that you guys have to it with a targeted approach. I think that shortens the conversation cycle that you have to have with those senior leaders, the VPs, the SVPs. They call and they don't need to hear about what you do because they already know what you do because you've already told them and they're already on the 3rd conversation with you. Does that make sense? You guys are doing the standard thing that this industry has taught us on the asset management level. It's everyone hides behind the corporate brand. So brand, like you guys are putting out stuff for, and that's cool, but like people don't relate the same to a brand. It's a faceless entity. It's a soulless thing. We don't know what's behind it. I know, and Ryan, when you meet this guy, like he's a soft Southern but articulate, very thoughtful, speaker, and you listen. He's one of those people that you listen to when he speaks because he takes his time and his delivery, works. And for you guys, like, this isn't even about working with MCO or whatever. Like, this is the same thing I've told you in the past. Like, the number one unlock for you guys is getting him and you and your message out into the world consistently. And I don't think it's email. I honestly think these and all the people you need are in the LinkedIn feed. And as we're in a moment of time here, and I don't mean to make this like just a social media thing, but like LinkedIn is really good for building businesses right now. And I think you guys taking advantage of that with brand and you layering on top of that and talking consistently and putting out content into the world, you could exponentially grow your business. Like if you said, we have to hire someone like you just to come in the office, I would pepper the shit out of you guys to put content and make you put out content like 4 times a week. We're working with a small firm they're probably similar size. They're not a firm, but they're more on the asset management investment side. And I don't know if this is what's, something you want to take back to your team and talk to everybody about, but like what we're doing with them is basically saying, guys, we'll handle the marketing for you. And this isn't taking over his role. Let her continue to do what she needs within the business. But what we're saying to them is everything that people are seeing coming out of this shop needs to come through us. And we're putting them through kind of a 6-month, thing where it's like, we're going to film you guys. We're going to have consultations. We're going to film the consultations. We're going to curate some of that video out of the consultations. We're going to be on some of these calls with you, with your clients, obviously, making sure that that's on the up and up, but recording some of that, stripping some of that out of there, creating digital content from some of the quotes and things that you've said. And basically the entire goal of the 6-month program, right? Build a YouTube channel, is to create a level of consumable content that attracts attention back into the business. And I don't know, like, obviously next steps we can talk about and everything, but I think that's where I'm almost envisioning what it is that needs. You guys need someone or a group to come in and say, look, we're just gonna do this shit for you for a period of time, and let's watch what happens. Absolutely. Dude, think about it. Like, I mean, you haven't been in that corporate world, but like, anytime we had to make a decision as a team and the boss brought us in, the boss asked us, and we would all pitch in ideas and things that we've seen and things that we would like to try or do. And we were the ones that brought the solutions to his or her attention. So to say, well, the decision maker is not on LinkedIn, the senior vice president is not on LinkedIn, all of the senior vice president's subordinates are, and they're the ones who bring the ideas to the table. Absolutely. I mean, look, like, we put out a lot of stuff, and I'm not going to judge. Like, I want to be clear that this is a conversation between you and I. You know, people are bringing in clients that pay attention to us for free. And I would never attach that directly to us, but I would say the message and the coaching and the consulting we put out that advisors are listening to and adhering to and you know, taking from us works. And we've seen it work, and we've received multiple messages from advisors that are in our network that have brought on new clients from putting out consistent content. And it's real. And Ryan and I are now stepping our foot into working with asset managers, firms on the wholesale side, because we've been DM'd so many times about, do you work with us? And this is a part of our business we have to expand. That's a big one too. Don't ignore that. Yeah, that's huge. Like, guys, we're on the phone right now talking because of the stuff we put out. We have a client that we're starting a relationship with a client that contacted us because of the stuff we're putting out. We have, you know, another call coming up, or we have a group in that we're working with some of their advisors, like, because of the stuff we put out. So, you know, it does work. It does get people's attention. And there's a reason that we have a business, and it's because what we put out works.
I just think there's an increased percentage of creators, and they're all trying to solve similar problems, but that's why it's difficult to talk about accounts and things that are happening. And because it's like, once there's a current event, it's like everybody grabs a current event and throws it on and starts talking about it, and you see the wave of information, and it's like, should I be another person? Am I missing out on this, or do I just fall in the background of the noise? And I just think with increased creators, it's going to happen. So
Ryan talks about this a lot lately, and I'm so big on it. And Ryan and I talk about this over the weekend all the time. You guys as advisors feel like you're jumping into the feed to present topics that people should be thinking about. People are not jumping on LinkedIn to worry about most of this shit. What's happening is, I think advisors are getting tired. I think they're all seeing the same stuff, and they're getting disengaged. They're not motivated. Their heart's not in it, because they're like,
When I'm in a lull, I pretend that I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. And by that I mean I'm revving in a circle, ready to explode in a certain direction. When I feel a lull, I speed up. I create more content when it's quiet because I know this is a time to develop and acquire market share. It's a time to develop attention. It's a time to fill the pipeline because it's going to get busy in the 2 waves of attention, right? I've talked a few times about at least one specific video and been talking about recently 2 waves of attention, January to May and September to November. That is when I feel people are more likely to take action on the things they want to do just based on how their life is moving. The first set of the year, we always have the new year. That gets everybody pumped to be the new me, the new business. Whatever they've been thinking about in 2020, they executed in 2021. Same thing is happening in 2021, they execute in 2022. So the new year keeps revolving. I think that's a powerful time for people to take action. Whether we believe in it or not, doesn't matter. It's when people take action. The second wave, I believe, comes in August to November. And that's because once we hit the holidays, everybody shuts off. Inherently, they're just getting through the time because they're preparing for the new year. And actually, all the preparing for 2022 you've done has probably been in 2021, in October and November, slightly December, and you're just waiting for the year to end so that you can start executing in 2022. What I really encourage everybody to do is to make sure you're executing in 2021 for 2022 results. So if you needed encouragement to start today, it's the fact that these things take time. Grabbing market share takes time. Let's take action. Let's take advantage of this second wave of attention and try to grab as much market share as we can and as much business as we can. And then let's take the remainder of the months. Let's take the holiday months and prepare for 2022. So when everybody's ready to go in January, you feel nothing in November and December, but everybody's jumping to you in January. And that's the commitment you have to make with marketing. That's what's difficult. You have to deal with 2 months of silence while you're working in order to get 1 month of the past 3 months of results. Doesn't always happen that way. There are exemplary marketing that happens. There's people who jump faster. There's referrals. There's things that happen to your business where obviously you're gaining a ton of new relationships, and that's amazing. And usually those people are much more established. Depends where you are in your business. That obviously depends on how these windfalls hit you, especially for advisors. I actually find from January to May can be busy, but can be quiet in terms of I'm doing a lot of work for people to make sure they're ready for accounting, but not necessarily ready for me. So it depends if people are ready to work or not. But I do realize that when people are going through their taxes, if it's a new relationship, they're more likely to start a new relationship with a financial planner because they're saying, I'll get my taxes done and then let me try this.
Let me keep going through here. MCO, building in public content. I'm going to really start pushing this. Amanda, this is going to fall a lot on you. Kristen, I'm going to also want to lean on you for helping with the discovery of this. And then you and Amanda are going to have to figure it out. Like, because I know it takes a lot of time. Like if building this business in public is a really consumable bit of content. Ryan and I and you guys having conversations with people and each other is what people want to watch, and us talking and that shit's all cool, but that's people aren't interested in that. And I want to create some sort of a weekly vlog episode or something, some sort of a piece of consumable YouTube TV show, something, and it's going to rely a lot on you, Amanda, to figure that out. And then if you can use Kristen to help you find the clips, then use her, because she's I'm happy to have the both of you doing this, but this is what I shared with you yesterday, Amanda. This is intro, music, beats, fast forwarding, making, shrinking the video and putting it in a frame to make it. This is all about making consumable content out of this stuff. This right now.
I think that's a good idea to focus on. I want to make sure we're obviously doing, what I guess we'd call revenue driving activities, creating content in the right direction. But I think that's a really good way to create and make this idea consumable. And I think it's something that not many people are doing. And it's something that a lot of companies missed the opportunity to do because they grew fast. So one of the cool things about growing fast, obviously, is you start making money, but then you miss some opportunities that I think we have while we feel like we're in that mode to be able to have cool content in between and showing people the growth of the company. I think something like this will have power, obviously short term, but especially long term over the next year or so. So I think it's a cool focus. I just want to figure out how we execute this without stealing 40 hours from Amanda doing just this. Giving her 6 hours of raw content and expecting her to tell a story every week is a full-time job, in my opinion.
It sure is. And here's where my mind goes with it in real time with you guys. So for the next 35 days we have until Labor Day, if we don't have that stuff in front of us, let's try to execute on things that do drive more of those conversations with clients, and then we can bring on more Amandas and Kristens. So that's, what else are we going to do for the next 35 days? We might as well try shit that people want to consume.
100%. I really like this idea. I mean, I think if we're going to spend time doing anything, it should be something that's different. And that to me is different. And it's something that we can only capture now because if we grow, it's gone. That was my point too, of big companies. Yep. You miss the opportunity to catch the growth because you're already there. You can always talk about it, reflect on it, and share cool posts, but it's not the same as in the moment, like now. So I'm just curious.
I want to break your frame of mind here, guys, a little bit, because Ryan, this is going to hit home with you. We're designing and talking about websites to keep people on that first page, to keep that scroll moving. Email's the same. I almost love that people don't click it. Opening is the game for us.
Yeah, it's true.
Friction. Clicks or friction. If we can put, that email contains a shitload of content that you actually don't have to click. What would you click on there? The videos, that's it at the bottom. But otherwise, Ryan's stuff, my stuff, and then the LinkedIn post at the bottom, you can read all of that in the scroll. So I'm cool with not clicking. Opening is what I really want to do, and then grow that list. And I don't know how we do that, but that's on my mind.
I guess my mind is, I agree with what you're saying to a point. Where I'm thinking is, when people open the email, is it like, that's a big ass email, and they're like, boom, a big scroll, and then they go down through all the pictures and they look at it and they're like, I'm not going to read all that because it's
probably
too much.
But that's an advertisement.
But could we say something more important that they consumed in a shorter period that did the same thing because we got them to consume a message? Like, I think the people who like email are reading it, like, and there's a few people that open it all the time, and I think those are the same people that do it, that will read it, and other people just think email is whatever. So I don't know if there's anything to change with the email. I guess I was just wondering if it was, I don't know, too long, too much to it.
I would change the time of it, and I have nothing else to judge on it at this point in time.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. 802.
Yeah, this was pre-COVID. I left corporate and was running a marketing firm, fulfilling the marketing needs for, boutique asset managers. Kind of trying to do it on my own at the time. And I started a podcast as a way to kind of really learn, right? So it wasn't a sales tool. It was just a way for me to have conversations with people around the industry and learn. Ryan was very active on LinkedIn. He was one of the few advisors at the time that was really putting in a lot of work and getting a lot of traction. And I shot him a message. I was like, hey, would love to catch up with you on a podcast sometime. We chatted, did the episode. And then after, he's like, I'm not sure if this is right for my firm, but we could use some sort of help like this. Nothing came of it. COVID hits, and we start talking later this summer of 2020, probably this time last year. And he's like, hey, I don't know where your head's at, but there's a real opportunity to do what you're doing for the boutique asset managers on the advisor level. And I was like, I don't really know the advisor world as well as I need to do that. I've been there. I worked at a regional BD, but I'm not ingrained like you are.
Yes, I think Corey and I met each other at the right time in our lives also, coincidentally, that
just really met up at like what he was already kind of trying to do in a certain field, in a certain way. And I saw him as a marketer who was really open, doing like, I think we both clicked mindset wise. And I think coming from the financial industry, you meet a lot of people who are like, marketing is about, you know, direct mail and focusing on how many words you can get on the page and trying to get people to go to a lead page or something, whatever that may be. And while some of that may happen and work, we wouldn't expand out of there. Just not very open-minded world, depending on it. So when I met Corey, I thought, you know, this could be something we run with. I've obviously been an advisor for 8 years and really know, I feel like, how they function, how they're working, what their life really looks like, how much money they're making, and what pain points we can solve. And that's how we started fumbling into, hey, I'm leaving my job so that I can have more freedom anyway. And then he was already on his own, so it was easy for us to combine. I honestly think Corey and I would have more money if we both would have slammed phones for the last 8 months, but I do not believe we'd have the same relationships and opportunity that we do now that leads to more money in 2022 than it did immediately here. And you said it, we went daily, like we worked really hard. So our version of cold calling was content. It wasn't like we just put out a video and was like, hope somebody calls us. Like we were working that shit pretty hard. You know, we were like, we believe in this, so let's push it. Let's always be there and see if somebody's looking at their phone all the time, like they're going to see us. And that's what we did, and that's what we're still doing.
Still want to get Kristen the stuff for the newsletter on Friday so that you can schedule it for Sunday so that you don't have to remember it Sunday night, obviously, to send it out, or even over the weekend, like Saturday after work on in the morning. So we'll still make sure to get you stuff by Friday so that you can finish it during the day. But then let's try it at Sunday night at 8 p.m. and see how it does. Do you watch those analytics at all, Kristen, in there? Do you look at the Kajabi email analytics?
Yeah, I do.
How do you, and I think we talk about this each time. That's good. Just keep your eye on it. I'm glad. I was going to look at it a little bit too, just to see. I don't really have any conversations to say. If you ever see anything that points out data-wise, then, you know, bring it up during these meetings. Like, hey guys, like this is getting clicked more than this, or this is not getting clicked, or I don't know, less opens, more opens, especially if we're changing around from Friday to Sunday. Just the things that you see. Data doesn't help everything, but if there's any insight, then just bring it up here.
And I'll throw on, I mean, Kristen, I don't know if Kajabi has the capabilities, but I'm sure Keep will. If you want to try Monday morning and split the list and Sunday night, you know, have some, if there's thoughts going through your head of like, I want to test this, then test it.
And I think it would be cool, like if our email was almost like a weekly vlog. You know, if obviously it's a standalone piece and it is nice, but I think if we put all the effort into the vlog, that should be one thing that we're highlighting on the newsletter rather than random content sending people everywhere. It should be like, because it kind of feels like a loop, right? People like in the email and they're like, backtrack, this is what we did the whole week, and then they watch it and it's a killer episode.
I couldn't agree more. I think the email is basically a summary of the week if you think about it. Really.
Yeah. I guess it is.
We received, I mean, for me as just a 16-year, 17-year marketer, that comment yesterday was one of the greatest compliments I think for me we could have received, which was, oh yeah, you guys put out a shitload of content. There's no shortage of content coming out from you guys, and that just makes me feel like $1 million. So.
Yeah, I was looking back through my videos and realized how lazy I was because it's been 2 weeks since I posted one, and I was staying up with text posts and had one live, but it's still not the same. And that's why I think I want to say I want mine to look more like yours. I feel like when you're scrolling through and you see those different kinds, it just, I don't know, it just resonates more. And one thing people know us for is video. And that's why I want to keep leaning into it and jump back in. So I corrected that one video, Kristen. I'm not sure if you got to that yet. I looked at it this morning and didn't see it, but spinning more plates for Kristen. Amanda, you're balancing one big plate. You keep doing the one big plate thing. Kristen, you spin more of them. Always the best analogies.
I don't even know what that means.
it just makes sense. In the vlog. Okay,
right.
So. And
most people are uncomfortable, as you know, as an advisor. Like, there's a huge thing about changing the name on the statement. I don't care what anybody says. Moving money is terrifying for people, and advisors don't talk about it enough. What it means to send something from Vanguard to TD Ameritrade means nothing to you and I, and means everything to somebody who's 65, because they know that's where their money has been. They know it works. They know nothing about TD. Who am I even calling? You know what I mean? And they're basically identical.
What's up? You're talking to an actual straight up human zombie. Hit me with a timestamp on this. We're headed to North Carolina for a family vacation for a week, and figured if we can, just load in the car here, if we can leave in the middle of the night and get a few extra hours of sleep for the kids, it'll make the trip a lot easier. So looking at an 8.5-hour drive here, leaving at 3 in the morning. An actual zombie talking to you right now. Anyone who's done this knows, not easy.